Brought to you by Baby Lock, for the love of sewing. Sulky Threads, express yourself with Sulky and create with confidence. Our exclusive fabric partners. Be sure to look for their newest lines of fabric.
Welcome to Quiltmaker's Block Network. I'm Paula Stoddard with Quiltmaker Magazine, and today I'm going to share with you block number 555, Sew Tweet. This is a block I designed for Quiltmaker's 100 Blocks Volume 6. This block requires creative cutting, and I'm going to show you how easy that is. This block uses a blue fabric for the sky, a brown fabric for the tree, and assorted wool fabrics for the bird and the leaves. You'll need 2 greens for the leaves, 2 red wools for the bird, and gold wool for the beak. The cutting directions and everything else you'll need to make this block can be seen on your screen. If you'd like to write them down, please pause your video now. This block starts out with an oversized blue rectangle. This will be your sky. You're going to make some cuts so that you can add your tree branches. The first cut you're going to make starts approximately 4.5 inches from the lower left corner of your rectangle. So you'll measure approximately 4.5 inches, and then you'll lay your ruler down. Don't worry about being exact. That's the fun of this cutting technique. It doesn't have to be perfect. So this first cut's going to be your large branch. You want it to just generally go up. You don't want to make it go up too far, and you don't want to keep it pretty straight. You want to have your branch go up just gradually. I have about maybe an inch or so difference between the 2 edges of the rectangle, and you'll make your first cut. After you've made this cut, you're going to separate the 2 sections, and you're going to make the cut for your smaller branch. So here you'll again measure 2.5 inches from the lower right corner and lay your ruler. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect, but you don't want it to be too sharp or too flat. You want it to kind of end up generally in the middle of your rectangle, and you'll make your cut. And you'll separate that section. So here is where you will place the strip for your small branch, and here is where you will place the strip for your large branch. So the first thing you're going to do is sew your small brown strip in between these 2 blue patches. When you're done, your brown strip is sewn in between your 2 patches, and this is what it looks like. As you can see, you have a jagged edge here, so you need to trim that up before you can sew your next seam. So just lay your ruler here on your diagonal. Don't worry about it being perfect. Just make sure that you catch the corner of your brown strip so that it will be in your 1/4 inch seam allowance. Just lay your ruler down and straighten this out. And now you're ready to sew on your large brown strip to make your large branch. You're just going to sew these 2 sections together on each side of your brown strip. So now you have your sewn section, but as you can see, you have your jagged edges here. So you need to square this section up. You'll do that using your 12.5 inch ruler. You need to square this section so that it's 9 inches by 12.5 inches. So as you can see, there's some extra fabric all along the edges, and that's okay. That's going to be your wiggle room for squaring this section up. So I just like to leave enough blue space here for my wool applique birds. So I'm just going to lay the ruler on here. Here's 9 inches, 12.5 inches, and I'm going to square this up. Now you're going to make your second cut. Then you'll flip this around so you can make your final cuts. I'm going to use my 9 inches here, 12.5 inches down here, and finish squaring this up. And here you have your trimmed section. So from here you need to add your 2 inch brown strip for the tree trunk and your 2.5 inch blue strip to finish the sky. And here you have your finished block. Now it's time to add your birds. So you'll use the wool fusible applique method, and after you have prepared your wool applique patches, you're going to place them on your block. So we'll place the bird and his wing. We'll add the beak and the leaves. And you can just place these kind of randomly. It doesn't really matter where they go. You just want to make it look all fun and leafy. And after you've placed them and you're happy with the placement, you can use a hot iron to fuse them in place. After you have fused your applique patches in place, you can add your finishing touches. You can add a small black button for the eye, use black thread and an outline stitch for the legs, and then you can use a hand blanket stitch to sew around all of your applique patches. And this completes your Sew Tweet block. This is a fun block and easy to adapt into all kinds of different projects. One way I adapted this block was into a growth chart pattern that can be found in Quilts from 100 Blocks Fall 2013. You can see that I adapted this block and made smaller blocks with single branches, as well as adding small birds and a bird in a nest. We added a tape measure to complete the growth chart. Adapting this block is really easy to do. To make a block with a single branch, you do the same thing. You start out with an oversized blue rectangle, you make a cut, you insert a brown strip for the branch, and then you trim the rectangle up. From here, you can add a small applique bird and a few leaves to finish your block. In this block, I reversed the branches and had them going to the left and added a small bird to go along with the larger bird. You can combine all of these blocks to make a cute quilt or growth chart. There's lots of possibilities for this fun block. Follow Quiltmaker on Pinterest for lots of fun quilty inspiration. Sew Tweet and 99 other fun blocks can be found in Quiltmaker's 100 Blocks Volume 6. Thanks for joining me today, and we hope to see you next time here at Quiltmaker's Block Network. I have not moved that once since you keep telling me to move it in. I have not touched it. And you keep telling me to move it, move it, move it. I'll move it if you want me to. Direct door.